Art with Mr. Posey. The Random Character Game.
Hello again, Cole. It's Mr. Posey here. This week for our art project, we're going to look at something called cartooning or illustration. We're also going to look at how we can use words to inspire the art that we make. The project this week is called the Random Character Game. It involves rolling a dice.
I have my D20 here, a 20-sided dice that I can roll. If I have one at my house, I can use this.
Or if you don't have a dice, I'm going to show you how you can use the internet to roll a dice.
When I'm on the Google page, I just type in roll dice and press enter. And it takes me to a page with some virtual dice. It automatically rolls a 6. So to get rid of that, I'm going to click on it to make it go away. The one we're going to want is the one that says 20, the 20-sided dice. You click on the symbol for the dice, and it will roll a 20-sided dice. For each image, you'll do this 4 times to get your 4 numbers.
And then let that dice roll tell you what you need to draw.
This is the chart that shows which words go with which numbers. Along the top it says first roll, second roll, third roll, and fourth roll. And down the left side it says which number lines up with which word. For example, on my first roll, if I rolled a 4, I would use the word green. On my second roll, if I rolled a 10, I would use the word elephant. For each character, you roll the dice 4 times to get your 4 words.
Sometimes we always draw the same things. I always draw unicorns. Everything I do, unicorn over there, unicorn over there, everything's unicorns, and we never get out of that box of just drawing unicorns. This game is going to give you a chance to get outside of your comfort box a little bit and draw some things that you wouldn't normally draw. Lots of different animals and lots of different adjectives that will change how those animals will look. So when we roll our dice, we're going to be trying to get some adjectives and some nouns. Those words are going to tell us what cartoon character we're going to draw. All right, I'm going to do it now. So I'm going to roll my virtual dice. I'm going to use my chart to figure out which words go with the numbers that I rolled, and I'm going to let those words tell me what cartoon I'm going to draw. Here it goes.
First, I want to make some smaller papers. So I'm going to take my larger paper and fold it into 4 sections. These are almost like little playing cards. I'll take some scissors and cut along my folded lines so that I have 4 smaller pieces of paper to use for each of the characters that I want to do. For my first character, I'll check my chart after I roll my numbers. You can find this chart on the web page where you found this project. I'm going to go to that Roll Dice web page, and to roll my D20 I'll click the orange 20 4 times. I get 11, 1, 17, and 13. So that I can remember my numbers, I'm going to start by writing those at the top of my paper. 11, 1, 17, and 3. I wrote the wrong number, but I'll use 3 anyway. So for my first roll, I got an 11, which is surprised. My second roll, I got a 1, which is panda. My third roll, I got a 17, which is beautiful. And for my last roll, I got a 3, which is flower. Now it's time to write my sentence. So I'll use those words. A surprised. What was number 1? Oh yeah, panda. And then it always says with a. It's the same for every one there. Beautiful. And since beautiful starts with a B, it's going to say A. If it started with a vowel, it would say an. My last word was flower, so I used my chart to make my sentence. A surprised panda with a beautiful flower. Now it's time to draw that. I'm just going to draw my panda however I think a panda should look. If I need to look up a picture of a panda, that's okay. But for me, I'll just make my surprised panda. I gave the panda a round mouth so it would look surprised. And in its hand over here is going to be the beautiful flower. I have the stems, the leaves, and the petals. Now I need some ground for the panda to stand on, and maybe a little something in the background, like some bamboo forest bits, and some clouds in the sky. That's my picture of a surprised panda with a beautiful flower. I went out and got some new markers, and I'm excited to use them. Now I'm going to speed up my coloring here, so that it doesn't take too long to watch. But each shape I'm filling in nice and solid, going around my edges first and then filling in the center. For my grass, I have light green with some little dark green grass bits. My green bamboo forest in the background. A little red in the mouth to show that open, surprised mouth. And then for my sky, I'm lightly going to put in some blue with a colored pencil also. Easy and simple. A surprised panda with a beautiful flower. Maybe a little shading at the bottom of my clouds as a final touch. And a little shadow under the panda. I have my first one done. A surprised panda with a beautiful flower. Now I think I'm ready to do my next one. So to make these numbers go away, I'm going to click on each dice to make them disappear. And then I'll click the 20 again to get my 4 new rolls. 17, 14, 4, and 13. Once again, I'll start by writing these numbers at the top of my paper, and then I'll check my chart to see which word goes with each number. For this one, I get a giant bird with a green lamp. So my job now is to draw a giant bird with a green lamp. I'll start by writing these words on the back of my card. And once again, that A will be A if the next word starts with a consonant. G, that's a consonant. And it will be an if the next word starts with a vowel. So now my job is to draw a giant bird with a green lamp. How would I make something look giant? Well, I'll put my bird here. However I draw a bird is fine. My bird is simple, made from simple shapes. He looks a little too angry. I'll add an eyelid. There we go, that looks less angry. Little tuft of hair and some wings. And my little bird feet. Now, to make this bird look giant, I'm going to put some stuff down here, like a little tiny person, maybe a little house. I'll do a brick pattern on the roof here, some stripes, and then my little bricks. And finally, a sidewalk. And I'll do a little dog here also. So now the bird looks giant because everything else is small. Here is its little lamp, also tiny because the bird is so big. And I think I have all of the important details. So now I can just add some texture, like feathers in the wings, a second shape on the hair tuft on the head, and there it is. For this one, I'm going to use my colored pencils. Now, I'm an art teacher, so I collect art supplies, so I have lots of different colors. If you don't have as many as me, that's okay. Just use what you have. Colored pencils work a lot differently than markers. I can press hard to make the color darker. I can press lightly to make the color lighter. Do you see how I included light and dark pieces to my red? I'll fill in other shapes with colors that I think of as I'm doing it. I'm not planning too far ahead, just thinking, what colors do I want things to be? How about a brick house with a brown roof? Oh, and my green lamp. I need to make that green. That's part of the important words. So there it is. It's a giant bird with a green lamp. Kind of strange. For my last one, I'll click my dice to make them go away. And I'll roll one more time. I get an 18, a 13, a 2, and that looks like a 19. Then I use my chart to find the words that go with the numbers. This one is going to be a tiny snake with an orange apple. I'll start by writing out my sentence on the back so I don't forget what I'm supposed to draw. A tiny snake with a orange. Now orange starts with a vowel, O, so A becomes an. And my last word is apple. Now how can I make something look tiny? I could do it the same way that I made something look big in my bird picture by putting other things around it. Here's my snake, and since it's tiny, my orange apple is going to be big. There's the stem and the leaves. Some details for my snake like a tooth and an eye, and a piece of ground to show where they're all standing and sitting. Snakes have a certain pattern on their stomach, like this, stripes. And then I'll put some diamond patterns on the back, just for a little detail. I wanted a little texture in the ground. It seemed a little plain, so I'll do some stripes. And now my pencil drawing's done, and I can do some coloring. For my last one, I'm going to try a little watercolor paint, just for something different. Now for my orange apple, I have a couple different shades of orange, so I'll do my dark shade on the edge, do a little bit of a lighter shade, and then even a light yellow to mix it all together. I'm going to go carefully around my edge with my brown, trying to go right up to the pencil line, but keep it all in the right spot. I switched to a tiny brush for the tiny things like the stems or the body of my snake. When I use a little brush like this, I'm only touching the tip of the brush to the paper, going very carefully around my shapes. I'll make the designs on the back red. I like how red clashes with the green. It looks exciting. Barely touching those little shapes. And then a nice tan for the part on the belly. Maybe a touch of purple for my background. And there it is. A tiny snake with an orange apple, a surprised panda with a beautiful flower, and a giant bird with a green lamp. Remember, these are just examples. Your characters will be different than mine.
So for my characters, I made 3. I had my giant bird with a green lamp, my tiny snake with an orange apple, and my surprised panda with a beautiful flower. It really gave me a chance to try drawing some things I wouldn't normally draw. You can make 3, or 10, or 100 different characters using this game, and they'll all be different. I'm excited to see what kind of random characters you come up with our game. Send them in this week so I can see what you're doing, and have a nice short week. Go Colts!